All right. Let's get it. What's poppin', Legacy League? How y'all doing? It's time.
I like that, man. I like that.
It's time. It's finally happened. All right. So today I'm joined by my hero, my personal hero. You know, my brother in arms, my brother from another. You guys might know him if you follow the gram. You might have seen him on the Pixies, man. He's part of the Legacy League, part of the squad. He's part of this movement that's aiming to change the world. My dude, please give it up for my man John.
Big John, you know what I'm saying?
Boy. All right, for the people who don't know like anything about you, can you please do like a quick introduction?
So I'm John, and so do you have like the whole business and everything on there? Or?
Say whatever you want, dude.
All right, so I met Travion through this business that I started with him, so we're partners and everything. But I'm from California, moved to Arizona my last year before I came to the Army, and then went through all the training and everything. So I'm here at Fort Bragg, and I've been here for a few months, and it's cool, starting Legacy, gonna change the world.
Yeah, bro. So you said Army. What do you do in the Army?
Artillery. Airborne artillery,
Oh, snap.
82nd,
Oh, snap. 82nd isms are strong over here. All right, so I wanted to do this because I thought it was something special. I get like minds up on here, and then we just chat, and it just goes. Today I got a timer because I can rap on, but I don't want to take you too long. So certain things that I just wanted to like hit with. I mean, like you said you joined the Army. You started the business. We met through the business. So for you, like what was your main reasons of like joining the business or like starting your business?
Man, this soon and even as I've only been in the Army for about a year, but even as soon as this, I noticed that 20 years is a long time to start a career, and getting out of the Army, there's really not much that is to offer that is like building good things. So I met my coach, my mentor. I followed him on Instagram for a while, and he was just posting Army stuff. That's why I initially followed him. But I started seeing he was hanging around with like millionaires, going to conferences, wearing them suits, looking clean. You know what I'm saying? I've seen the change, like from where he was like 2 years ago. And I started following up to the point where I hit him up, and I was like, "Hey, man," I was like whatever you're doing, like I want to learn about it. And he was like, "Yo, no problem, too easy." And then we met up, started talking. That's when I got in. But
and before that point, did you have like interactions with him? Like, did you ever talk to him? Like, hey, what's up?
No.
So that's just so crazy. The power to change people. Like people don't understand like their sphere of influence. Like when you better yourself, when you start changing yourself, people notice, man. People will notice before you even notice yourself. When you're intentionally, like dragging your career through the mud, or dragging your spouse or your girlfriend through the mud, people see that. How many times have we seen the post of like, man, my significant other did this, or man, my boss just did this, man. Like people are always like telling us about the negativity in their life, and we never see them moving past it. Like to see that from a person, like to actually see them over the course, like, yo, man, like what's going on? Like, yo, you got some keys to success, man. And I think that's awesome, man. How old are you?
19. I just turned 19.
19. Just turned 19.
Man, I got my business offered. Like I got my offer to partnership on my birthday.
On your birthday?
On my birthday, man.
Happy birthday to you, then.
It was
basically
dope, man.
Shoot, man. For me, man. The reason I just wanted to change myself, I've always told myself that I want to change like the world. I want to impact the world on a big scale, and really, I just didn't know how. I was just like, when I leave this earth, I want to say like I've changed the world, not the country, not the United States, like the world. Like I've been able to affect people, and I was just like, I never was able to like tone down into like really like how or what it is that I'm trying to get that in. And when I started getting around like a mentor, and I started looking for like people that wanted to do better in life. You know, I've partied. I've gone to over 50 different countries. You know, I've lived my life. I've dealt with lots of women. Like I've lived a pretty full life, and trying to discover like what I thought was like the peak. Like, well, some people's like, oh man, like, you know, married couples, like, I want to live vicariously through you. And I'm just like, man, I'm trying to live like you. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, you know. What is the lyric? The lyric goes by Andre 3000. He said, you know, when it comes to the married couples, you know, they look up to us, and when we just, you know, they lust for trim, and we just lust for trust. And that just like spoke to me, because it's like, yeah, like when you get to that peak, key word, when you get to that peak, man, like your view is either other people at peaks or the valley, and you start thinking about your climb up to that peak, and then when you at the valley, you just think about your climb up to the valley. I mean, to the peak, because you're sitting there like, oh man, I don't like where I'm at, and they don't understand that it's just a blend, and they both need to be there, which means you need people that's gonna be successful. You need people that need to fail. Like, people have to fail in life, that way they can learn from successes, not just them, but other people can learn from success. You know, the craziness of, like, you know, right now we can say it and it's so open. Like Martin Luther King, you know, he said one day, you know, he wanted people of all colors to be together. Today you say something like that and it's kind of like like, don't we all, like, but like back then, like, there was struggle, and there was power in that struggle. You seen that struggle, and you seen, like, no matter what, like, he still wanted to go forth and accept what he believed in, and there's something inspirational about that. You know, like, you have a goal, you want to believe in it, and you go forth. Which, contrary to, you know, the current, you know, job markets that we're in, you know, like, we don't always get the opportunity to develop ourselves. You know, we're in a positions where we trade our time for money. So we're trading our time for money all the time. When it comes to, at the end of the day, man, yeah, we got this money, but we have no time. We have no time to spend it. I mean, I love the Army, man. I love the military. I've loved babysitting. I've loved you know, even podcasting, and, you know, being an Instagram thing. But, like, the fact that when I do get these successes, like, I can't celebrate it as much as I'd like to, is big to me. And I think that some people have this in mind, that they'll get, you know, 50, 60, and then they'll want to go to the Bahamas and stuff like that. I'm trying to go to Bahamas now. Like, I'm trying to go to, I mean, I did go December, but I'm trying to go back. I'm trying to go back, you know, it just be there. I'm trying to, you know, live my life the way I want to, you know. Big on Instagram, but, like, even Instagram, like, I want to be at the level where, like, I don't have to go back and be like, yo, check out this picture. I can just go and see it again, man. Like, there's so much power in that type of want, in that active dream building. And it's good to get around people that you know, want the same thing. And, you know, do you feel like maybe I'm prying into, but, like, from your age set, when you talk to other people that may be a little older than you, or even the same age, like, when you say, like, yo, I'm trying to do this, like, do you feel like they're talking down to you at all times, or do you have any disbelief? Like, what is the support level that you would say you get from, like, your workforce associates?
Man, from people I work with, you know, not very much, because they're just army, you know, PT, you gotta knock out these classes online, or these classes, you gotta get this certificate, like, nonstop. But then when you think about it, it's like, how is any of that, you know, I mean, it's good for your Army career, but how is any of that gonna develop you outside of the Army? You know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, none of them care about your personal life. None of them care. You know, you don't come into work and they're asking you, hey man, like, how'd you sleep last night? How was your week? Like, you have a good weekend? None of that. It's just, you know, constantly, you know, trying to go towards that work. And then if there's, like, I just had surgery, so it's like I was out for a minute, and then it was like, while you're out, it was just like you're down, everybody's like, you know, kind of kicking you while you're down. So it's like the support level really is not very much, but then you get in something like this that we're in, like this business, and it's just crazy support, like nonstop support in everything, every aspect of your life. you know, like physically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. They're super, super supportive. And again, with like what you were saying, change the world, and Martin Luther King, you know, nobody wants to hear the story of the man or the woman that was given everything. People want to hear the stories of men and women that endured pain and endured struggle, and through that pain and through that struggle, you know, they made something out of it. They made a change.
Yes.
It changed the world.
Yeah, man.
And another thing is like a lot of people think about that, and they think about their dreams, and they see it so far away. They see it like it's a movie, like it's fiction, but it's not. It's really not that far. You know, anybody with real drive and determination can make whatever their dream is come true. And another thing people really like, I would say kind of mess up on, or like they do wrong, is they get a dream and they get to that, they like accomplish that dream, and then they stay right there and they don't come up with another dream. You know, like your why has to change, your dream has to change. Like I got to this Army, man, and this literally my whole life, all I look forward to is like Army's gonna change my life. Army's gonna change the course of my life. And I get here, I'm like, bro, I gotta find something else. I'm like, man, I gotta find something else that's really gonna change my life, you know, really gonna make an impact.
So it has made changes. It just wasn't on that scale that you thought.
Oh man, no.
You know, we see the movies, we see the American heroes, you know, with their capes, you know, the flag on the cape, and they're just like, yo. And then you're like, yeah, I'm sweeping the motor pool. I'm sweeping, you know, I'm sweeping someone's like garage. I'm scraping gum or some crazy stuff, man. Nah, I hear you, man. I hear you.
That reminds me today too. I was at the gym, like some water hoses broke, man. And the poor soldiers that were working, like they were on gym duty or whatever, you know, scanning cards. He straight came into the locker room, right, and it was like pouring water from the pipes that were going through this. I don't know, they had pipes going through the ceiling for like water pump. And this man comes in with a dustpan and a broom. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, you about to sweep with the water? He's like, dude. He's like, yeah. I'm like, man, you doing great things for your country.
Yeah, man.
I'm like, bro.
Yeah, man. Sometimes, you know, we're not always put in the best positions to make the best decisions, man. And if no one alerts you, or, you know, you don't know what you don't know. If no one like lets you know that there's something else out there, you know, there's more to it. Like you'll never know, because dreamers, unfortunately, dreamers dream, man. Like that's all they know. If you know you have the aspirations to be great, but then you feel as though you can't get there because you're so pigeonholed by, you know, your environment or what's going on. It's harder to like get there. It's someone like, you see somebody grinding. Like I've seen some people while in the military, you know, they got their own little business on the side, or I've seen one of my old folks, man, he like got a job at like Papa John's, like while he's working hard. Like the hustle is there, the ambition is there, the need for more is there. People are struggling with the how. And a thing that happens with the how is like I said change the world, but like now I adjust that into what's gonna be my stroke for that. Mine is 360 degree, you know, trying growth in all areas. You know, like I'm not the biggest gym buff, but like I'm going to the gym. When I say biggest gym buff, meaning like I don't have my own gym channel, but I go to the gym. I represent, you know, the guy that, you know, goes to the gym, isn't about to tell you about how every exercise works, these 3 different types of your muscles and these different aspects. But you know, I'm a work in progress. I'm going to the gym, I learn, and I experiment, and I represent the guys that want to grow in that. I represent men that when they go forth, they want to make changes in their life, that they research, they look it up, they apply themselves, they get that knowledge and then apply it, and they elevate themselves. And then once they're elevated, you know, they tell other people how they got there, and they continue elevating, because, you know, the grind don't stop. Like I can't talk to someone that like, you know, sometimes you talk to someone, like I talked to you know, a senior leader in the military. You know, I was like, yo man, at what point, you silly. And he said, at what point you should have just used your camera. He said, at what point did you decide that you had to do this for 20 years? And he was just like, you know, it was after like 8, 9 years of me just kind of like it wasn't hard, you know. It wasn't hard. It wasn't a passion. It wasn't hard. So I was like, you know, I might as well do it, and that's crazy to me because I think within 8 years, within 10 years, within a decade, you should be able to find out like how you can better align yourself, you know, posture yourself to hit your goals. You know what I'm saying? Like if you know you just joined and you already like, man, this may not be for me. Now sure, you know, there's different positions you can fill within it, but I mean like as a principal, now as you continue to look at what it is for you, like what are your big goals, what are your big billboard goals as opposed to your small stop sign goals, and then you can now posture yourself even within the military to like hit those differently. Like me, like my change, I'm trying to change. I'm trying to change other men. You know, I want to change fathers that are currently with kids, expecting kids. You know, want kids one day. I want to be like, I want to represent them. I want to represent, you know, men that want to get closer to, you know, their spiritual side. You know, regardless of, you know, religion. Like people that just want to practice discipline. I want to, you know, represent people that like, you know, been underestimated because, you know, I grew up, you know, people always thinking, you know, I was going to go certain ways and, you know, people always prejudging, you know, doing that thing. Mm-hmm. Like as soon as you say 19, there's probably people out there that's like, oh, 19 and they don't like the Army and they already prejudged you without hearing, you know, what you about and like what it is that, you know, the Army just wasn't hitting for you. And you know, I want to speak up for that, and that, like, I want to change the world in that way. I want to empower more men. Like, you know, contrary to popular belief, we may say that men are empowered and that, you know, like they're the more dominant, but no, it's a handful of men that are empowered, and the rest are just empowering their dreams. Like it's a very weird dynamic that men play back roles to other men, but they don't ever want anyone behind them. They're just like, yeah, like, okay, you say if I do whatever you say, for the next 20 years, I'm gonna get a check, regardless of like how much time it takes me away from my family, regardless of like how much hours I gotta put in to, you know, make your job, make your dream come true. And that goes for corporate America and, you know, sometimes in the military, you know, like there's a weird science about that. A weird science about how people, you know, take in their information and how people find that job security, and it just like snuggles them. They wrap it around themselves like a blanket, you know. I used to see the world as like basically we all comfortable in our jail cells, you know. We jail cells, we're in a big maximum prison. Prison got one warden. It's one person at the top. We all in jail cells, man. But the crazy thing is, these jail cells are all unlocked, but we choose not to walk out. We choose to be in our little boxes, you know, our little comforts. You know, there's people that right now, because they got a kid and they got a wife, and, you know, they're like, I can't get out of the military. Yeah. I can't do that to my family. I'm afraid as a man to tell my family that I tried to pursue my goals and I couldn't do it, and so I failed them. I'm afraid, so I'm just gonna take the secure net. I'm afraid to quit this job that I hate that takes me away from y'all for y'all. It's a passing of responsibility, and I think that it's a crazy thing, man. It is a crazy thing. So so with that, man, I feel like when it comes to like goal building, like changing, like it's a good exercise. So like for as far as your goals is like, you know, a young man developing, like what do you think you'll be like in like 5 years? Like not even 5 years, let's say when you're like 24, mid-20s. You ain't hit 20 yet, so what's mid-20s like looking like for you? Like what do you want that to look like?
Oof, man, that's well, I would say, right, so by my mid-20s, so say when I'm 24, that would be like 5 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
So where I see myself, I haven't thought about a whole lot, but, you know, I see this business, you know, taking off within 5 years. So I see myself, you know, I think about it right now. I kind of see myself on, you know, on stage as like, you know, like a maybe like a platinum or maybe a ruby, and, you know, like financially free, because I'm gonna take this business, I'm gonna run with it. But, you know, that's like that's still developing. Because if you were to ask me, say, 2 years ago, like, where do you see yourself when you're 19? I would have been like, man, I see myself in the Army, you know, like out there training, and then, you know, I'm here, and I'm like, all right, so
you accomplished that.
yeah, and I accomplished it, right? So I got one dream down, so I'm like, okay, so like I said, you know, your dreams got to change, your reason, your why has to change, otherwise you're gonna be like a straight line, you're never gonna grow, but like you may not fall, but you're not gonna grow, and there's no point in doing that. And then again with the Army, the main reason my dream switched, my goal switched is because, you know, like when I'm in organizations or I join something or like I'm a part of something, I look at the people that have been there for multiple years, the people that are like where I'm gonna be, and I look at how they're living, how they're doing, how they're feeling, how they talk, how they hold themselves, and I see so many of these. You know, not to say anything bad about the Army or the military in general, but just being real, like, so many of these guys just hate like, they come to work and they're all, you know, bitter, they're negative, and they just, like, hate their lives, and I'm looking at them like, you know, in 5 years, I'm like, do I want to be like that, coming to work, you know, just hating life, or, you know, you got these guys coming in, like, talking about, and, like, bragging, you know, about how they do, you know, certain things, or, like, cheat on their significant others, and
man, you gotta do better.
You gotta do better.
You gotta do better, man.
So I'm like, oof, man. I'm like, I see that. I'm like, I don't want to be there. You know what I'm saying? And then I look at this business. I look at people that have been in for, you know, 5 years. I'm like, man, these people are positive. They're loving life. You know, they're building assets. I'm like, man, that's where I want to be. So
I think part of that comes with just, you know, when you do step up and you create something, you know. I'm not a father, but I'm sure most of my listeners that are also fathers would say that in agreement that when they had their kid, when they created something, like it effectively changed their lives. Unless you're a deadbeat, in that case, it changed your lives and made you scared, but it still changed your lives. So even in any business, man, when you create a business, that's your baby, and how you nurture your baby will also be telling of like how you nurture yourself. You know, you don't expect to have, you know, a baby and then all of a sudden be like, yeah, I got this new baby, just you, and I'm gonna go to the club and I'm gonna go out and yeah, I'm gonna just give work, you know, 85% of everything that I got, and I'm gonna come home and give my baby 15. You know, like. And I think that is unfair. Like when we talk to men spouses, man, like men and sometimes women too, you know, like they get so caught up on that second level of maturity, which would be independence. You know, you come out as a baby, you depend on others, then you like eventually you become 18 and you're expected to be independent. And people get stuck on that level. They really do. They don't know how to evolve. You can be married yet single, for some reason. Some reason in today's society, you can be married yet single. You can be married. You know, you can, you know, from the religious folks. You know, you say, you know, this is my spouse, and I'm gonna say that in front of the Lord. And you could be married, but like when it comes to your actual actions when it comes to like how you are in that marriage, you're independent. You're independent of your wife. I am trying to do this. It's her fault, you know. Oof. Or I had a long day at work. Why can't he understand this? Like, I hate dishes. Why can't they understand that? Like you get very I minded, and you see nothing but the you as in you have the issue. It's not me. Maybe I have the issue. There's like people get stuck on that independence level and they're not ready to jump into interdependence, which is like something that, you know, most big businesses actually practice. You know, Apple when it just came out, the reason Apple was successful was because they didn't just have one dude making up great ideas or, you know, this is the new thing. It was a room of guys and girls and like whatevers, and they were just coming up with new concepts. All the leader of that organization did was say, hey, these are my principles. This is my core values. This is like, at like this is like basically like my shell. You guys fill it in because we all share the same shell, and like that's why it's so successful. So to flip that and to hit us on our business and for my listeners that's like business, what y'all talking about business? I'm not trying to do a business. I'm trying to work my 9 to 5. Well, make your family your business. What I'm saying is make your family your business. You know, if it's not family, if it's just you, make your work like your actual business. Get into where you trying to be in life your business. You know, don't just say, you know, I want to be happy. How do you want to be happy? What are some things that you're gonna have like that keep you happy? And then like, are there gonna be like temporary things or what's gonna be that permanent thing? For me, right now, what make me happy if I have a little son, name him Junior, and he gets my principles, he gets concepts, and I start seeing him figuring life, and I can sit back and be like, whoa, like I just made a superhero. Like, for me being able to pass that on, for me being able to have somebody tell me like, yo man, like I took your advice, or I seen you go through something, I seen you evolve, and it made me want to evolve too. And I think there's power in that. There's definitely like a strong power in that. That's why I think that this podcast is a great step. Like right now, like you see me, I'm not you know, business mongol. I'm not, you know, driving a Ferrari. I'm not freaking like doing all this gigantic stuff right now, but I am growing, I'm developing, I'm reading, you know, I'm trying to become a better man than what I was like being set up to be. Like jobs, they pretty much teach you like, yo man, you do all this and you might be in my position one day. I don't want to be in their position. I'm just trying to be a good father. I'm just trying to be a good man. I'm just trying to be a good son. That's what I want to be. Like,
I like how you hit on that too, because you know it's not, you know, when you leave this world, you can't take any of it with you. You don't take the money. You don't take anything with you. So, what it's really all about is what do you leave behind? What kind of legacy do you leave behind? What change do you leave behind? What did you make happen on this earth while you were here in your life? And you know, everybody has the same 24 hours in a day. Mm-hmm. You know, I have the same 24 hours as freaking like. Is Bill Gates dead? Is Bill Gates still alive? Okay, I got the same 24 hours.
Bill Gates is still alive, y'all.
Bill Gates, all right.
Bill Gates is still alive.
I wasn't sure. Hashtag still alive. I wasn't sure.
Still living.
But yeah, so I got the same 24 hours as him. It's just what you put, what kind of work, what kind of influence you make in that 24 hours.
You working 9 to 5. What you doing from 5 to 9, man?
Exactly.
What are you doing? What do you do when you get off work, man? For people that complain about work, from people that say that they don't have enough time to be better, like what are you doing? What's taking up all this time?
TV.
Is it TV?
You know, TV,
is it Netflix? Cable,
man.
Is that new restaurant they was talking about? Hey man, I'll appreciate a good restaurant if I bring a book there.
That's what I'm saying.
It's possible, man. People want to wait until you get to the end to figure out like how you did it when they can be running with you if they pay attention. If they pay attention, you know it's crazy. Like take a great actor like Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman popped off at age 30 something. He didn't start off young. It was 30 something. He had that grind. But people don't care about that. People are just like, oh man, he's always been a great actor.
Yeah.
He's always been a great actor. I'll use another example. Drake.
He started from the bottom, man.
Drake.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's funny you said started from the bottom because that album, Nothing Was the Same, was actually Drake's first #1 album.
Really?
No one knows that. No one thinks that. Everyone thinks that Drake's always been hot. Drake's always been, you know, like this industry plug. Drake is dope in his own right. But I'm just saying, like, Nothing Was the Same was 1, 2, 3 albums in?
Yeah.
3 albums in, and it's his first #1. People heard him by that point, and they was just like, nah, he was already flaming. Nah, he just now started getting the gas.
Right? And like, you seen 8 Mile?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you know Eminem, like, he started at straight bottom, you know, he had nothing. And then,
it's funny that you white brought up Eminem.
Yeah.
I brought up Drake.
I got a shot, you know what I'm saying? But no, for real, like if you've seen the movie, if you know the story, you know, he went up on stage in them like little rap tournaments they had, and he choked, and everybody like messed with him. You know, he couldn't get ahead, and he would get scared, you know, and start choking until he got pushed to that limit where he was kind of like his back was against the wall, and he, you know, he kind of went out, and just like, you know, he put it out there and he made it, but it didn't start off, or he didn't start off hot. He didn't start off with the money. He didn't start off, you know, with all the luxuries. He was in a trailer park with his moms, and you look at him now he got like, I don't know how much, but he got a lot of money, and he's super
Shady ain't living shady, boy.
He ain't living shady.
Shady living the light, baby. Shady living the light, man.
Light.
So I also remember you said that you from Arizona?
California.
You from Cali?
I'm from Cali.
Oh, God. You guys on that whole coast.
Oof.
Gross.
Born in Modesto, man. Lived in San Andreas. If y'all ever played GTA San Andreas, I lived in San Andreas.
You lived in a video game?
I lived
in a video game that I played.
Man, I lived where it was based out of.
Isn't that kind of crazy?
It is.
That you live in a place that like most people like only consider the fancy world.
That's what I'm saying. And
Isn't
I'll
that
tell you, man,
crazy?
it's not much different.
I
I'll tell you
mean,
right now.
God.
they ain't off by much, man.
You see CJ, you see black dudes like just running forever,
shit. Here
taking
we
cars.
go again.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. I feel like so when it comes to your city, like, did you have anyone like back home? Like, do you consider like, you know, like a large influence? Influencer?
Yeah. So growing up, like, you know, I didn't have a dad, I didn't have a father figure, because drugs, all that good stuff, and he was out of the picture. So we grew up.
Deadbeat, man. I hear you.
Deadbeat.
I hear you.
Yes, and so is my mom. You know, she was working 3 jobs, average 3 jobs, 2 to 3 jobs, nonstop.
Woo.
Me and my 2 older brothers, right? So we didn't have many father figures, but my my mom's best friend's dad was named JD, and he's getting up there. He's like 80 something now, and I just gave him a call the other day. But he was huge influence. You know, always been there, great man, and he reminds me. Have you read Iron Man, Silken Heart, Bill Britt? Yeah, so he just like Bill Britt. So I was reading that, and it reminded me of JD. That's why I gave him a call. And so I remembered one day before, like this was like a week or it was like 3 days before I left California, and I went to Arizona. I was talking to him about the Army, because he was in the Army and just life in general, and he told me, he was like, and I put this in my Marco Polos the other day too. He was like, if I'm gonna tell you one thing, he's like, because I just got done playing a game of chess. I wondered why he wanted to play chess with me so bad. And he was like, you live your life like a game of chess. And I was like, okay. I was like, so what do you mean? I was like, I get what you're saying, but like, speculate, like, you know, kind of, like say it like a little more so I understand. He was like, I don't remember the exact words, but he was like, you know, every move you make is gonna make like a ripple effect. So you need to strategize. You need to plan ahead. And that was like the biggest thing. So I've had that in my head ever since, you know, live your life like a game of chess. So that's part of the reason, you know, I got in this business, because I got in the Army, and I was like, all right, so what's my next move? What am I going to do next that's going to help me to, you know, get that checkmate on life, not, you know, realize when I'm like 30 or 40 that life got the checkmate on me and go through like a midlife crisis or something. So I'm like trying to plan ahead, you know, like chess.
Yeah, man.
But that's, you know, that's my biggest
influence. Hey, for my listeners, man, if you don't know how to play, you know, chess, it's all good, dog. I'm living my life like Connect Four, man. I'm just sitting there, and I'm like planning. I'm just like, I go there, and then, you know, say you lose in life, I just reset the board, man, before I lose, before they put that piece, like that angry little cousin, man. You ain't putting that last piece on. Oops. I let it go, man. So don't even stress if you don't play chess, man. Don't stress if you don't play chess. You can play Connect Four with me for more.
Connect Four.
It's all good. It's all good, man. That's powerful, man. That's what I was trying to hit on a little bit earlier when I was like, when you like 24, 25, like what do you see yourself? I didn't mean in a literal sense. I meant like you see that version of John, man. You see that version of John, like. And I wanted to kind of describe him, like what his principles, man, like what's his core values? Because right now I know you got a set of core values, and they're just expansing, and you're expanding on your core values. Mine very strongly, if you haven't noticed, is family, man. My core value is family. So like I imagine myself, +5 for me is 30. So I just had that birthday, and I imagine myself, really big on my family values, being able to talk on it. Like I always got my older brother, man. He about to have a daughter this year, so she be about 4 years old, man, and just talking on family, like, yo, like, I know how to interact with my niece, man. I know how to interact with, like, another brother. I know how to interact with my sis. And then, like, because when you talk to people, your values do show. If you talk to them long enough, man, you get to see what they consider important. You ever talk to someone and they've been in, like, a rush?
Yeah, like
you
blow
see,
you off.
You see that, hey man, no matter what we talking about, I place value in this, and I'm gonna be important. I'm gonna go take care of this. If you talk to someone in a rush, that's how you should be when it comes to pursuing your goals, and that's how your goals should be your values. I'm like, yo man, family. If it's not family, yo, yeah man, I got you. I got that. At work, man, I'm just like, yeah, I hear you. I hear you, boy. I'm gonna be over here reading this book, man. I'm gonna be over here reading this book. I'm gonna figure out how to apply it to my life. I'm figure out what great men have done to stay great men. Cause I'm trying to become great and then stay great. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I thought it was powerful, man. I thought like having that influence in my life for me, it was many different people, man. I grew up with my dad, but like, your influence, who you're influenced by is like anyone. At some point in my life, I was strictly influenced by Gohan from Dragon Ball Z.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm telling you, Gohan, relatable boy. Gohan had potential from the beginning to be great, right? Potential from the beginning. Episode 1, they showed that potential from the beginning to be great. Gohan did the exact opposite of the flaws of his father. Oh. His principles are totally different. Goku's principle is challenge himself.
I feel that.
Always keeping his sword sharp, right?
Yeah.
That's fine. That's some cool principle. Gohan's principles: family, protection. Gohan, like, applying yourself. Gohan, like, grew up one of the coldest fighters, and it was like, nah, dog, I gotta take care of my family. I gotta be there for my family. I can't just go off training. I can't just be at work from 9 to 5. And then put in the extra hours and make it 9 to 8, and then go home and give my family what's left.
Yeah,
that's not gonna be what gets me to this next level. They always trying to unlock next levels in Dragon Ball Z. That's not what Gohan said was gonna unlock his next level. Oh, and it wasn't something physical. Yeah, that's the crazy. It wasn't something physical. He didn't say the next time my hair go blonde, next time my hair go green, blue, red. He was like, I'm about to be here. I got a daughter, man. I'm out here. I'm about to be here for my family. I think Gohan's like a huge influence character on that show. And even now he's like, all right, here's the funny thing. Just because you change your internals doesn't mean your externals won't show. So yeah, he did give up, the fighting and stuff, but he came back to it and was like, yeah, I'm protecting my family. My family good. I'm a great family man. Also, I'm getting on these hands. I thought that was just so fire, man. So at times it's been like characters, you create your heroes, man. You just don't live in their shadow. You try to be either as great of a hero or better than a hero than them. Exactly. And I think that's there's so much power in that, man. I refuse to live my life, handcuffing my dreams and goals. Ooh. Nah, man. I'm good. I'm unlocking them. I'm unlocking those things, man. That's what I'm trying to become better.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like in your own life, you're gonna be your own hero. You're gonna be your own villain. Mm-hmm. You're gonna make it work for you. You're gonna regret what you did one day. And it's not just, it doesn't stop. No matter what age you are, you could be, any age range, and you guys start thinking, like, what am I gonna regret 5 years from now? Like, am I really gonna remember this night where I went drinking with my boys, or am I gonna remember all this work I put in to accomplish this goal? Right, and you're gonna remember that goal.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy because I used to live in that falsehood, man. I used to think that, when I talk to my boys, because I've had to talk to the boys when you're sitting down and you're in a crowd and you guys talk about life. And that's the crazy part. That's how I knew that I needed to change men. Like, if women are inspired by my change and want to change too, thank you, sisters. But I want to change men because I realized through talking with my friends that was drinking and stuff, when I was drinking and stuff, like heavy and partying and clubbing and traveling, all that good stuff, that the need to be great is in all of us, man.
Yeah.
No one woke up and was like, yeah, that's it, dog. I'm gonna be sub-average for the rest of my life. I'm good with it. No one wakes up like that. It usually when people are stuck in a position, they're like, I don't know how I got to this point, but I don't know how to get out. Mm-hmm. I'm so suffocated by it, man. Not only did I lock the door in my prison cell, I put some cement on it, and I'm just sitting here like, how do I get out now?
Yeah.
And the funny thing, because that's when we tell them, you know, like that's the people that be like, nah, it's not that simple. It's not that simple. You can't be great within, you know, a couple years. Oh, you can't be great within a couple years, man. You gotta put in time. If you don't put in time, you won't get the result. If you don't put in 20 years, you won't get the pension. If you don't, you know what I'm saying? If you don't work at something for 10 years consistently, then you'll never be good at it. When that's not true. That's not true. I don't need to go to the gym for 15 years to become good in the gym, to become healthy, to start getting fit, to start caring about my health. I don't need to study it. I don't need to study it for 15 years. There are professionals that's already hit that level. Exactly. I just need to make the steps to start going and then start applying myself to improve my effort while I'm there. Exactly. But that's not about to be 15 years. It might be like a couple of summers, maybe 15 summers, but I mean, not summer seasons, but it's not going to be 15 years. I'll take 15 seasons over 15 years anytime, man.
I feel that, man.
And
I feel that.
It is crazy, man. It's crazy. You know, priorities are getting jumbled, man. And it's because no one really knows like what's a noble goal versus what's a realistic goal, man. It's noble. I think it is noble. Like, it's brave. It's brave to say that if you keep doing the same subpar thing every day, that one day you will be above average. It's very noble. It's brave to say that, man. It's crazy. That's what I'm saying. It's brave to say that, you know, where you at in life, like will be changed by doing the same things that put you there.
That's what I'm saying, man. I'm gonna find something real quick and I want to show you.
Nah, you good, dog. You should have just searched it while we were talking.
Look, old ways won't open new doors. You know, you do the same thing, you're gonna get the same results.
That's what I'm hearing, 100%. Boy.
I just got that from Rob, man.
Yeah, man. It plays because it's crazy that it's really impossible. Like, you should learn this from kids. That's why I think kids are so dope. Because, like, they teach you things that either you brought into adulthood or that you haven't noticed that you do until adulthood because you've brought it. And you can't, same thing with that. You cannot solve problems with the same level of thinking that you were at when you created them. You can't. It's impossible. Like, the reason I said kids is because I seen a kid, like, have a little toy and not know how to put it together, right? They just like broke it. Yeah, they broke it. They sit there, they look at it, and they're just like, they stare at it. They put it together. They're like, dang, I don't know what. And then they start crying. Yeah, because they don't know what to do. They don't know how to solve it. And then I seen kids that are a little older, you know, maybe like 2 years old. My friend, you break it, he'll look at it, he'll get a little teary, but then he'll look for the adult, and he'll be like, please, like, and then he'll notice that someone else with that elevated thinking brought him and can fix that problem. Show him how. Yeah. And then he was just like, yeah, you just do this. Ooh. And it clicks together. And he was like, thank you. And then the next time he broke it, because kids break things, he broke it. He was like, and he put it together. That kid brought a different level of thinking to that issue that he created when he was at a lower level, and he was able to solve it. And I thought it was so crazy because, like, that's kids. Why when we're adults, like, we get frustrated with that? If you say, let's talk relationships for like a little briefly. If you say that, you know, why do I always get up with the type of woman that does this, the type of man that does this? Why am I always stuck with these type of people? Like, men ain't crap, freaking women ain't crap. Like,
The same level of
That's
thinking,
the same
man.
level of
You gotta
thinking.
change it.
What it's not necessarily, I'm not saying bash yourself. I'm saying, what is it? How do you solve your problems?
Mm-hmm.
How are you reacting in certain situations? Like, really analyze you, get to know you before you get to know someone else. And then when it comes to those issues that you have with other people, like, they'll be like easier to solve. They really will. I'm not saying like, fire won't burn you, if you know it's coming. But I'm saying like, you won't keep your hand in the open flame. That's what I'm saying. You educating yourself. Oh man, this is hot. Oh man, this is hot. I don't know how to stop this. I don't know why this keep happening to poor old me. Boy, take your hand out the fire.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. You can't love somebody else till you learn to love yourself. Like 100%, man.
Yes, my gosh, man. My dude, man.
Man, I love how you say that too. Like you analyze things like on a whole new, like you can take like one aspect and analyze it in like 20 different aspects, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed that. Like what I said with the marshmallow. Mm-hmm. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
That, man, it's whole new
can you break that down for the people listening right quick? What the marshmallow thing was?
Yeah. So I was listening to an audio. I don't remember who it was by, but and the speaker was talking about a marshmallow, a study with marshmallows and kids, and they took the marshmallow, and it was with like 80 kids or something like that, and they told the kids that if you wait and you don't eat this marshmallow for 15 minutes, we'll give you a second marshmallow. And if you eat the marshmallow, you don't get another marshmallow. So majority of the kids, ate the marshmallow because they want that instant gratification, because they don't have the discipline to wait to get the second, to wait and get more marshmallows, similar to like building assets and things. And so the kids that did wait, they got their second marshmallow. Well, they followed up with those same kids like 30 years later, 25, 30 years later. And they realized that the same kids that waited to get the two marshmallows had more success. Typically, not all of them, but typically, between most kids that waited, they had more success in 30 years than almost all of the kids that just took the instant gratification and ate the marshmallow right away, because they had that discipline and it was there in their mindset. And I just thought that was crazy, like how the way they brought that up, and I was like, that is insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, that's a powerful research project that they've done, man, because that instant gratification is like in many ways like we are all guilty of it. Like I've been in moments like that marshmallow, that marshmallow not wanting to wait for the second one. Man, that's crazy, because that can take the place of so many things in life. Like for my investors, that with patience there'll be a stronger dividend like later. So when it comes to like investments, we don't invest in ourselves enough to like wait for that second marshmallow, in life. And what I hit him with earlier when we were talking about it is that you just talked to me about that experiment, and I was just like, man, kids go for marshmallows, man. I'm a little bit older, so like I'm thinking of like a s'more. Maybe you don't want the same thing that you had the second time. Maybe you want something greater. You want something, you want to grow. So if it's a s'more, we're talking like, the chocolate, we're talking the crackers, we're talking you need some heat, you got to do preparation. So there's gonna be fire if you want a s'more, right? There's gonna be some waiting and patience if you want a s'more. You can make a s'more out of order. Your chocolate might fall on the ground. You're gonna fail. You're gonna have to crumble up some marshmallows. So like it's like, how patient are you to get that end result? And then what are you investing? Like, do you have that chocolate? Do you have like that cracker? Do you have like that heat source, that thing that's firing you, that's driving you, or the thing that the things that we run into in the world? Do you have that? And is it like hitting you? Like, is it hitting you on a way that's like positively pushing you? For like I said, relationships, man. That instant gratification, that's the difference between you like seeing someone, say you got a girl, or you talking to a significant other or whatever, and you're like, I don't agree with your core beliefs. Like I don't agree with your core values. But I want to be in a relationship. I don't like being alone. I want the instant gratification of being in a relationship, being able to post about my relationship on social medias, being able to say like, yeah, I got somebody, you know, to talk to after a long day because I'm not happy with myself and I can't bounce back because I don't have the emotional fortitude to do so. Ooh. Because I'm not independent completely. I'm independent when I want to be. I'm dependent most of the time. I'm independent when I want to be. So
it's that lust and that love.
It's lust and love, man. Lust, because people think lust and they immediately think flesh and they think it's like sexual, and it's like, nah, dog. No. You lust for many things, man. It's that impulse. It's impulsive feeling, man.
Impulse, yes.
It's impulse. Like, it's funny because like those are things like love. Like love, the actual feeling, that bubbly feeling that you get is really just a fruit of like loving someone. Like loving is the actual tree, like the verb of loving someone, because that's an action. You know, I think it's always crazy. Like my mama Dukes used to tell me, she's like, men love like the tree, women love like the feeling. And that's why we'll never like completely agree until we realize that we need one for the other. Yeah. A tree that bears no fruit is not a real tree, but a fruit cannot be born without the tree. I'm not saying women need men. I'm saying more so like as far as like the act. Like when women feel that love, they like feel it in them, and they like, it's a feeling like, oh man, I would never cheat on that person. It just drive me insane. Yeah. The guilt would drive me insane. Like most of the like women that I've been able to talk to in my life, like, so most of the figures, I'm not saying all of them, most of them has had that type of feeling. As far as like men, it's like, I made the decision not to cheat on her. I was waiting on the feeling to not cheat on her, but no, I'm keep making this decision. Maybe she's not right. It's like, it's just the way we wired. Some people are wired more on the other side. Some men have the feeling and some women have the action. It's like, nah, I woke up today loving you because I could leave you. There's some women that's like that, dog. Man. There's some gangsters out there. But it's really just knowing what the byproduct of your actions are. Your actions are really going to be like what gives you the fruits that you want in life. And it's the byproduct, whether that's, you know, starting your own business at a young age, you know, being that positivity, being one of my... It's crazy because she watched this. She know who she is. One of my exes said this to me. She said, it was a long time ago. I remember it though. She said, beat a Fruity Loop and a freaking box of Cheerios. And I was like 15. I was like, beat the Fruity Loop, beat a Fruit Loop and a box of Cheerios, because Cheerios are plain. Yeah. And I was just like, okay. She's like, don't be afraid. You know, don't be afraid to think differently, man. And you know, I thought that was very powerful, man. I kept that with me. You know, don't be afraid to be wrong. Don't be afraid to, you know, step up. You know, take that good look at yourself. And you know, I think if you increase yourself as a man, if you increase yourself, you know, as a person, and you continue to evolve, then you can evolve all the things that are involved with that circle. You know, when it comes to your relationships with other men, like as far as like personal relationship, like they'll respect you more because you have yourself together. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when I talk to a boss and they're talking about, you know, oh my God, my wife this, oh my God, my wife that, it chips away at my confidence that I have in them. Not in their ability to do their jobs, but like my ability to like follow them. It's like, okay, I'm gonna be good at my job, but then I might like start just talking reckless at my wife. Yeah. Or people that, you know, don't call their wife. They call her, oh, that girl, or that douchebag, or blah, blah, blah. It's cute lady. Names. Yeah, it's cute names, and then they're calling it, you know, edifying your wife, putting your wife on a pedestal, man. I still know people that ain't afraid to, you know, like, wife calls, hey, what's up, baby? Yeah. And then, you know, the rest of the office, ooh, it's like, hey, this is my baby. I married her. That's what I'm saying. Those are the men, you know, that are stepping up. That I'm just like, yeah, I want to continue to empower those type of men, man. Don't be afraid to love your wife, my dude. Don't be afraid to love your wife. Don't be afraid to love your girl. Don't be afraid to love your child, man.
100%, man. I'm going to take a piss real quick. I'll be right back, brother.
Go for it. You just gotta win. So, it's just crazy that's like the things that we find ourselves into these days, man. Like for me, a little backstory on me. This podcast really stemmed from me like sitting there and looking. It was like, man, who have I been able to watch from like day one? like everybody talks about. We hear these sayings like, if you wasn't with me shooting at the gym, then you don't need to be with me when I play on the big court. And I'm just like, I heard two things from that. I'm like, all right, so if you wasn't with me at practice doing my drills, or you didn't come up to my practice, why are you showing up to the games? You just someone else in the crowd. I can't share this with you. I want to. So I'm sharing this. Excuse me. I'm sharing this with everybody because I want someone to go back and be like, let me go to episode 1, episode 3 of the SoLive podcast, man, the Coming to You Live podcast, and I want to see like the growth that's happened, like, you know, like how this man has been talking, how he's been interacting, the moves that he's making, like, and I think it's important. I think it is important to show men growing. You know, we have all these different ideals that, you know, we only get to see people on that inroad. We only get to see people like once they've already done it. We don't get to see them like, yo, like that's what I want to do. I'm working towards it. Like it's kind of like I think that type of dream building has been shot because even things like SoundCloud rappers. I use SoundCloud rappers as an example because like we think of SoundCloud rappers and we immediately prejudge them. We like, oh man, they'll never post off. Like, oh, you stuck on the platform. You can't do nothing. Oh man, you got rapper dreams. Blah blah blah. You ain't even that nice. But there's a lot of artists that actually came from SoundCloud that are nice. There are a lot of artists that actually upload their stuff on SoundCloud because that's the platform that they say is popping. And there's a reason for that, you know? There's a reason that a popular artist, you know, such like Chance the Rapper, like freaking Lost, one of my favorite tracks from him on Acid Rap, was on SoundCloud. That's a SoundCloud, it's on SoundCloud uploaded, or Dat Piff. You know, there's a lot of Dat Piff freaking, that's that plug though. That's that, Dat Piff is a plug, that's a secret app.
It's the labels, man. People always trying to label.
People always trying to label, man. It's funny. Like, people will talk and they'll talk to you until they figure out what they want to label you, and then they talk to you different.
Yeah.
You ever notice that? Like, you talk to someone and you ain't let them figure you out, they'll keep talking to you. They'll show all this like this interest, but the second they think they got your card, they're labeling you. They're gonna label you, and they're gonna come up with all these prejudged notions because they have it in their mind that, you know, a spade is a spade, man.
Yeah.
You know, they have it that, you know, people don't change. People don't change their actions. Like, apparently right now, like, this is like your maximum. The thing that you're doing right now is going to reflect on you 10 years from now. Okay, well, that part may be true, but we can change what we're doing at any moment.
Exactly.
We really can. I thought it was fire, man. The principles that like you have, and you know, like when it comes to like becoming a better person and like, you know, duplicating that effort and just wanting others to do the same. I think that, you know, in the future, you know, of course we're gonna have to bring you back on, but I think that in the future, like, I will do this check and I'll be like, yo, remember when we were doing one of my early episodes and I was like, where you gonna be 5 years from now? And you was like on stage.
Oof.
And I'm be like, what did you do yesterday, boy?
On stage.
And I think that's funny, man. Like, I will continue to use the platform. Like, I know that as a man right now, I may not be the greatest man. I may not be the most inspirational man, but I'm getting there. And I know I have the tools, I have the mentors. I know you have the tools, you have the mentors, and like this growth gang. Like, y'all listen to that Gucci gang. I'm about to wear a Gucci belt and then call it growth gang.
Growth gang, I feel that.
And that growth gang is just is ridiculous, man. And it's gonna be so wild, so crazy. They're not gonna understand it, man. I think as far as like topics, man, like,
there's a lot, man. We could go on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as far as like topics, like no, right. So right now we're just kind of bouncing about like men in general, and like how we think of, you know, the public, like what, like, and principles that we find at work and things that we can you know, duplicate and stuff like that. Do you feel as though, you know, do you feel as though like your father not being present like shaped different principles in you?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Because so a lot like that character from anime. I don't watch anime, so I don't know.
Oh, nah, dude, it's all good. I'll show you that in a whole nother day.
A whole nother day. But like that character you said, he was like trying not to be like his dad, So definitely shaped a lot in me because some of the things that he did and who he was, I look at that and I'm like, I see that and I'm like, that's not gonna be me. So I'm like, I'm changing my legacy, I'm changing what was kind of set out for like how I kind of like I had that certain from where I came, you have like what you're most likely, gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I grew up with no role model, none of these factors, none of these things, none of these support systems that many people have. Most people like me that didn't have the support and they didn't have the models and all that good stuff, are like most of them are not doing very good things right now. Most of them are doing self-harmful things, and so I think the way that I perceived it through my head, really shaped how I am today because, just things he did, I don't want to be like that. And then I look at it in a way of like, I want to make a legacy for myself and change the course of, where I'm going and change the course of kind of like the course that was set out for me. I'm like, I want to veer off that, make a difference, change the legacy of my life from, I mean, my family, like being poor and all that good stuff. I'm like, I want to change that, I want to be wealthy,
Yeah.
And I don't mean just wealthy in like money. I mean wealthy in like spiritually, families being together, being
Time and I hear you.
Yeah, all that love because when you come from a place with not much of it, you can either go two ways. You either gonna carry that on, you're gonna make a change.
Carry that on, man, and make it change.
I'm gonna make that change.
I think thank you for that, and I think that's super powerful because, in a sense, like I think, in my opinion, like for the 9 to 5 situation, like no disrespect, my Bizzle, no disrespect to the man that's fighting to put food on the table, but I have more respect for the man that's fighting to keep food on the table. Like that's a fight that's more worth pursuing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like at the end of your 30 years doing whatever at corporate, like did you have something now that you can pass on? Like does your name carry weight that you can pass on to your kids? Like your kids gonna be able to like develop more because of that? I'm not saying like don't fight for the opportunity because the way people are conditioned, because the times have changed, people haven't noticed. The times have changed, so our mentors, not our mentors, but like most of society's mentors grew up in a different time. So the teachings, the industrial age, like so right now it's the digital age. We would need digital age mentors. We need people like the Elon Musk of the world that like master digital and understand digital. Even even oh my god, even the late Steve Jobs, man, like as far as digital world, he was in that digital age and realized that power, and he utilized and empowered that. Like, he's a great mentor for this age. The principles of the industrial age wouldn't have worked with what Steve was trying to do. And so as far as like systems, like I feel that if you work all day and you give your job, you say 100% your job, but it's really like 85%, and then you come home and you give your family, that 15%, whatever's left, the sloppy seconds of you as a person. If you don't know how to reset, leave work at work, you're too tired for this, too frustrated because of that, then you're essentially doing the same thing as not being there. Because, like, what is 15% of a dad over the course of 18 years?
Exactly.
Like, I'm just saying, like, same thing. I mean, I know because I was raised by my mom. She was in the military, so the same thing can happen to my ladies that like got their hard working jobs. I'm not saying being like forward and being a forward thinker and like developing for your future is bad. That's the type of thinking that I embody, and I'm, trying to carry forth and continue to inspire within others. I'm just saying we should look at ourselves, look at our progression, and then make sure that our actions are lining up with the person that we want to be, and that our actions today line up, or if we passed away or later on in life, for us, our actions are lined up with what we want to be able to say that we have done.
Exactly. And I was talking to Rob the other day. And
Big Rob.
Big Rob, you know what I'm saying? And I was telling him, I think I had a dream. I'm not sure if it was a dream or like maybe I listened to an audio, or maybe I listened to an audio and I fell asleep and that's where I heard it. But I seen a picture of like somebody walking on stage, and what they were talking about was how do you know who you are? How do you measure who you are? Because with your personal values and your like your core values, your like who you tell yourself you are, it's easy to make excuses like why you made a certain decision that violated your core values. It's easy to make excuses and be like, oh well, try to justify yourself. But so the talk that I remember seeing or hearing somehow like in a dream was, how do you know who you are? And then they've kind of put in like an equation, and it was like you take, because you can't look forward, in the future to be able to see who you are. You have to look in the past, right? Mm-hmm. So you look at where you've been, and then you look at the person that you want to be, the person that you want to be, like family man. Like family is a huge thing for you. So you look at how you want your family to react and how you want your your family's bond to be and everything. And then you look at who you are right now and your past and like where you've been, why you are where you are right now, and then you take the person who you want to be and how your past brought you up to who you are right now, and you divide the difference, right? So you take the difference between who you want to be and who you've added up to be today, and that's the difference of where, like,
wow,
you know what I'm saying?
Wow, my math nerds are just like, yo, he just gave us an equation, man. That's an equation for success right there, man. I hear that so much, man. One of our good friends, man, Justin actually said that the other day, man. He said, if I got to where I am today, being surrounded by negativity, like being surrounded, by, all the different work stuff. People are just like, if you do that, that's stupid. People are just like not actively pushing you to be dream builders. Like you say you want to go sing, like be like, oh, you can't sing, as opposed to, oh man, do it. I think you can do whatever you want to. Like, we got to where we're at currently, being surrounded by negativity. Like, when you start surrounding yourself by dream builders, by like legacy builders, by people that want to be better, like the Trey that y'all talk to right now, you freaking will be, so behind the power curve in comparison to Trey of next year, man. It's gonna be crazy. Like,
it's gonna be cray.
It's gonna be cray. It's gonna be cray when you meet the new Trey.
Ooh.
And when I say new, I mean like new to you, old to me, because my principles remain the same. I'm just working on them. And actions speak louder than words. So like, I'm keeping my actions, and eventually they boom so much that people are not gonna be able to ignore them. So to wrap that up, man, it's been really great having a conversation with you. Having you come over, chill out in the casa for a little bit.
Chill out in the casa.
Just for a little bit. Next time I'll hit you with a topic. We might go in with like whatever we work on in the week. I'll tell you something or something. Okay. And we'll do something. But if people want to like follow your story or see what's up with you or connect with you, where can they find you?
Instagram. So my Instagram is 6_Montoya, MONTOYA_9, and my Snapchat. Right. Hey, don't judge. I created this when I was like a freshman.
All
right. So hey, it's pretty bad. Not gonna lie. It's John.Redneck01.
Hey, it's all good,
it's
man.
Goofy, right?
Hey, it's all good, dog.
Good.
Your neck red, my neck brown. It's all good.
It's good, bro.
It's all good. Nah, man. Thank you so much, John, for freaking coming up here. I'm MarquisSoLive. This is the Coming to You Live podcast, and I will see you guys next time. Signing out. Deuces.
Shit, I like that, dude.